Hey bro, so I thought I would show you a quick something, um, and dude wants to get involved. I'm going to be checking the gravity on my beer in a second, and I was going to show you. I know this is kind of middle of the process, but checking the gravity is going to be useful for you even on your first day, on your brewing day. So it'll help you figure out where your beer starts from. Um, this is my satellite fermenter. That is a regular bottle of beer. Well, it's empty, but as you can see, I filled it up. Might be hard to see. There we go. I filled it up to about the shoulder there, and it's just plugged with paper towel. And it's been sitting in here in the dark because in this closet next to my bottling bucket, which has been fermenting steadily. Might be hard to see, but that green dot shows my temperature at 68 degrees, which is perfect. I am not bubbling anymore, so fermentation is probably done. It's easily been 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more. So this is ready to get bottled, and I'm going to probably do that this weekend. I'm just going to leave it for a couple more days, and I'll have more time over the weekend to work on it. All right, here we go. So I don't really know. This is my bottle. This is a little, just a beaker that I got from the homebrew store. It's just big enough to hold my hygrometer. I'm very gentle with this because that's either lead or mercury at the bottom. If it's mercury, I don't want to break this. So this is my original one. This is probably what you got in your kit too. And you can see it's got measurements. There's a side over here that has a series of numbers. And the range that you're really working at is 1.0. And then I think your first brew starts at like 1.042 is your target starting gravity, or original gravity. And then I think once yours is done, it's supposed to be down to about 1.012. And you can actually plug those numbers into a formula and figure out your alcohol by volume content. So this is going to fit in here. I'm not just going to drop it in all fast because I'm going to be gentle. What I am going to do is slide it in slightly. I'm not worried about sanitizing this because it's been 2 weeks and everything's been done so far, and I'm also not going to be using this beer for bottling or anything. I just saved this bit for checking the gravity. So this is what they call a satellite fermenter. It's not technically as reliable as taking a reading directly from your fermentation bucket, because the bucket being larger is going to ferment at a slightly slower rate, but it might be just a difference of a couple days. In that case, pan up here. The difference of a couple days, it's easily there by now for me. So I've got this just enough beer to float, got it as level as I can. I'm going to take my reading, checking on the meniscus. I kind of want it to float free and it'll spin itself around. And I can find that I have a finishing gravity of 1.0, looks like I'm at 1.01. 1.01, I'll say 1.012 is where it's actually at. So that's that for checking my gravity. Then I take this out carefully, I rinse this carefully in the sink and dry it thoroughly, and then I keep it in the thing it came in. And then this beer I'm actually going to put back into my satellite fermenter gently. And then the idea is you want to check your gravity. Once you think fermentation is done, you want to check the gravity a couple times. And the idea is you want to get it to a point where the gravity is near where it should be when it finishes, and it should be steady for about 3 days. So if it's the same gravity for 3 days, then you're done, and you can move on, particularly if it's where it should be. And that's that. I keep a log in my beer book, though I'm gonna purchase some software next month. I'm gonna start tracking all this stuff in software. But I keep a track of like my whole brewing process for each batch, the dates that I do stuff on, the gravity and everything. So today is 1.012. This is my pumpkin ale. This started at 1.056 original gravity, which means it's going to be a stronger beer. This could be 6% actually. I'm going to plug these into the formula later on and find out. But that's that. I'll rinse this guy out and just put it up to dry. I'll rinse off my hygrometer. I'm going to rinse this off and put that away. And then another thing you might get, and this is important, understanding the temperature that you're taking your sample from is important, because if the temperature is outside of a certain range, the gravity is actually off and you have to adjust it. So this little sheet that came with mine actually has at the bottom here, I don't know if you can read it, but I can just describe it to you. It says if the temperature, for example, is 68 degrees, then my reading is perfect. If it's up to 77 degrees, then I need to adjust by adding 0.001 to my reading. If it's up at 86, I need to add 0.003, and so on. There's like a range, a whole series of numbers and calculations it gives me that I go by. But I usually have it around the target range. It's occasionally, particularly on the first day on the brew day, I might end up closer to that 77 degrees once it's pitched, though you really want to try to get it down closer to 70. I think if you're below 80, you'll be okay, but you know, I think it's worth it to spend a few extra minutes waiting for it to get down to below 80, closer to 70 if you can. All right, see you later.